Well, hello there, Tankers of the Blitz universe. I'm Flossie, and this is probably one of the most unique Tier 7s in terms of consumable loadouts. And what I mean by that is you have the ability on this tank here, the FV201, to use tungsten shells, reactive armor, speed boost, and adrenaline. These four consumables are probably some of the best in the entire game, and this tank has the option of using all of them. But which ones do you choose? Well, that's what I'm going to be figuring out in today's video, because I will be testing out different combinations of consumables while reviewing this tank's gameplay style, because this tank is actually really underrated at tier 7. But let's break into the tank stats before we get into that in 3 live games. So starting off with its gun, it deals 160 damage on its standard shells, 135 on its premium, and 200 on its HE. The tank has 8 degrees of gun depression, which is pretty solid. It has decent penetration at 171 on its standard, 239 on its APCR while using gun rammer, and 20 on the HE, which is really sad, actually. 20 sucks, but oh well. In terms of its gun handling, it's very, very good at 2.8 seconds of aim time with a dispersion of 0.308, so very good there. And its DPM is fantastic at almost 3,000 for a tier 8 heavy. That's quite insane. And its overall mobility is solid, nothing special, but nothing awful. It goes 31 forward and 16 in reverse without using the super speed boost. So overall, in terms of its armor profile as well, this tank, it's troll, not very reliable, but it's troll. The upper plate and lower plate, basically the hull is really weak. The turret has a good gun mantlet, but the turret cheeks and even part of the roof is quite weak. So honestly, nothing really crazy in terms of its armor, but its gun is what really makes this thing underrated and what makes it insanely dangerous, especially if you get into a game up against tier 6 players. So again, like I said, we're going to get into 3 live games. I'm going to be testing out 3 different consumable loadouts in this video, one for each battle, and we will see which one I'm able to perform best in and which one I prefer. So yeah, this tank is available in the store right now for about 4,500 gold. At the end of the video, I will, of course, give my opinion on whether or not it's worth it. But yeah, let's wait for Wargaming to load me into battle. And then we'll see what we can do in our 3 live games. Oh, good. I didn't have to wait too long. Here we go. We're on Normandy for game number 1. We are up against tier 6s, so this might be very, very sad for the enemy team to have to deal with me. So, yeah, this tank has so much DPM. You're able to rip apart tier 6s, especially so easily in this thing. Like, you have a 3.3 second reload. It's like you're running just a constant auto reloader or auto loader. It's kind of stupid. But anyways, I also just realized I forgot to fix my ammo loadout because, of course, my press account, for whatever reason, Wargaming decides to give me the same amount of ammo for each type. So I have 25 of each except for HE, but oh well. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's see. Hopefully we don't run out of AP ammo, honestly. We'll see what happens, though. You can see here, like, getting up to my position is a little bit on the slower side of things. That mobility kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So let's see what we can do, though. We have a VK3601 in front of us. And I'm going to position myself in a spot where I might be able to hit his tank with my good gun depression here in just a moment. There he is, but I also see... Oh, hello. There's the AT-7 in front of me. I'm going to pop my tungsten and adrenaline. Screw it, bro. Let's roll this guy with our shells here. And I'm just going to move back and forth to make it harder for him to actually deal with me. And you can just see the insane reload time of this tank. Like, bro, look at how quickly this guy evaporated. Man is already gone. And I wonder if I can pen this guy. Ooh, I can pen him in the turret because, of course, I have APCR Premium. That is one good thing about APCR Premium there. And am I able to hit this blastoid at all? I don't think so. So yeah, that's one tier 7 already gone. Bro evaporated. And let's move on to the next target. Here we have the VK in front of us once again. I'm going to try to hit him in the hatch, but I don't know if that's really going to work. I might as well start loading some standard ammo. Unfortunately, he gets behind cover just in time. The thing with having such low alpha damage, though, there is a bit of a problem with that, is you can't really out-trade people at this tier, especially in a tier 7 heavy like this. That's a little bit on the annoying side, not being able to out-trade opponents, especially if you get into tier 8 battles. That's going to be a big problem. So we have the blastoid in front of us. He does somehow bounce my side. Don't really know how, but oh well. take it. Let's keep pumping shells out here. I basically haven't stopped firing this whole game. And we do have a medium tank on my side now, who I'm going to try to bully. We'll see what happens, though. I do have a couple of tanks on me now. This is going to be a little bit of a sus situation here. I need to get this guy out of the game fast. Let's see what we can do. We do pick up the kill. We do get set on fire, though, but I'm going to load my tungsten shells now. Hopefully, I can turn maybe in time. Oh, boy. This is going to suck. This is really going to suck here. Maybe I can get a bounce. Lucky bounce, please. Oh, my gosh. He actually bounced me, and we do survive. We're already at 2,800 damage. So you can see, even with, like, a pea shooter gun like this, you're still able to dump out so much damage if you can get your opponents to sit in the open, or if you can catch them out in the open. Again, if people are able to just peek you, shoot you once, and then back into cover, you are going to lose out on so much damage because of how low your alpha damage is. It's like you're playing an E25. You need your opponents to be kind of clueless in a way and kind of just sit out in the open for you to do max amount of damage. But you can see in a game like that, 2,900 damage was very easy to achieve. So that's loadout number 1 using tungsten and adrenaline here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take off my adrenaline because, of course, this reload on this tank is already good enough. And we're going to put on reactive armor to see if that will help us live longer in the battle. Reactive armor obviously basically denies 25 or 20% of the damage you take from shells that are not HE shells. So in this tank, the rear armor of this tank is very squishy, so do not show your rear to players or they will HE you and negate your reactive armor's usefulness. So let's see what we're able to do with tungsten and reactive in battle number 2. And, yeah, I mean, you can see there, like, tungsten's nice and all, but on the alpha damage that this tank has, like, it's so low anyways, that, like, tungsten, it's only going to make so much of a difference, right? But this tank is still hilarious. Like, the fact you're able to have 3,000 DPM on a heavy tank at tier 7 is kind of stupid. Like, you have, like, AT-15A level DPM on a heavy tank. It's pretty stupid. But, anyways, let's get into game number 2 here. And let's test out our new consumables here. Let's see what we can do. And let's see who we can bully. We're up against more tier 6s. How fun. And they do also have a KV3 and an E10, so high alpha damage tier 7s there. So I do have to be careful of those. You do have a decent amount of HP. Because this thing is kind of like a medium tank like gun placed on a heavy. You have a lot of DPM, but you also have a lot of HP, so it's kind of like in between a medium and a heavy tank. You have heavy tank mobility, heavy tank hit points, but you have like a medium tank level of DPM and kind of armor profile. So it's a little bit of a strange tank in that way, but it's honestly really fun to play. And it makes good credits too, because obviously being at lower tiers, you don't have to fire as much premium ammo to do tons of damage. So let's see here. The SP1C, bro, is stock, so I'm not too worried about that. We're going to load our tungsten shells. Hopefully he keeps pushing. That might have been a bit of a waste of my tungsten, I'm not going to lie. Let's use our decent accuracy, though, to pen him in the side there with a bit of a tricky shot. He is dead already as well. Yeah, that was a bit of a waste of my tungsten shells, not going to lie. I probably should have waited for a better target to sit more in the open. And oh my gosh, bro, what am I looking at right now? Why is there just a Jackson and a Hellcat that just both like popped out of that same TD area? What am I looking at right now? Well, I am going to pop my reactive armor. I guess we're going to find out if this works out at all. And I'm going to try to bait a couple of shells from this Jackson here. See if he's going to get baited by it. There we go. He does, in fact, just track me, which is good. I'm going to try and shoot this Hellcat if he pokes, though. He's going to be the main focus for me right now because, of course, the Jackson is, like, full health, so I'm less worried about him right now because I want to get the tanks with lower HP out of the game as much as I can. Jackson does, of course, start looking at me again. Let's see if I can, like, bait another shell. Tank's not great at side scraping, I'm not going to lie, but there's not really anything else I can do. So I kind of had to put myself in a side scraping spot there. But, I mean, you can see there, like, in that situation, again, I kind of just wasted my reactive armor. I could have done without using it, but we'll see. On the move shot towards the Hellcat does not work. But, honestly, at this point, I'm just going to take one from the KV4. The thing with this tank, though, is it's British, so its ammo rack is going to get destroyed, like, super easily for whatever reason, so keep that in mind as well. Be careful, especially when you're taking shots from higher alpha tanks. With bigger calibers, there's more chance that your rack and other crew members are going to get destroyed. You see the Cheeto off to my side there. And can I get an on-the-move kill? I had the shot, but I just didn't take it fast enough. And all that's left is an AFK E10, who's hopefully going to stay AFK, so I can farm him out. Unfortunately, I just need to move up. I need to stop sitting back here. And my gun needs to hit its shots. Come on, gun. Please work. I'm going to block this guy's lower plate, so then it's harder for my team to get damage out, because, you know, of course, I'm a damage farming little bitch. So let's do that. There we go. 2,500 damage in this second battle here. Obviously, with adrenaline, we could have done a little bit more, because having that shorter reload would have gotten more shells out into players like the Jackson. So it is what it is. Still a decent battle. We got 3 kills there and dealt 2,500, like I said. So yeah, that's loadout number 2. Now let's see, what can we switch up with loadout number 3? Well, of course, we have to use speed boost here. And let's go back to using just adrenaline without tungsten. Let's see how this loadout will do in our third and final battle here. So yeah, obviously you can see with loadout number 2, the issue is reactive armor in pubs at least is only useful to a certain extent. If you are putting yourself in a situation where you have to use reactive, chances are you shouldn't be in that situation to begin with, because reactive armor is only going to save you so much when there's like 4 people shooting at you, right? It's going to block a certain amount of damage, but people are still going to keep shooting at you past the use of your reactive armor. So it only works for a certain amount of time, obviously. And yeah, honestly, reactive armor might not be the play on this tank. You might just want to stick with something like adrenaline and tungsten, or adrenaline and speed boost for this tank here. But anyways, let's get into game number 3. Again, whenever Wargaming loads me into battle here. And here we go. Finally. Middleburg is our third and final map for this video, and more tier 6s, so let's bully some more tier 6s. Let's see. We do also have a BZ58 against us, another E10 who's hopefully not going to be AFK this time, because that was kind of stupid. This is a good map. I'm going to use my speed boost to get myself up towards CCAP faster. You can see here, this really helps a lot. Super speed boost is great. But it only improves your top speed up to like 35, so in a way, I feel like on this sort of tank, it's not even really that worth having the super speed boost unless you're using it to reverse out of situations faster. Then it's going to be useful. Wow, we do hit a nice shot on that MT25 there. That's good. And the SP1C is also just YOLOing our Type 64. So honestly, a lot of their tanks are just YOLOing up top here, which is not very good for my team. My team's going to get destroyed up here if I don't go and help them out soon. You can see here their Cromwell is going to be overextending and poking to kill that guy, which is understandable, but now I'm going to pop my adrenaline, and you can see why having adrenaline on this tank is just so nice. We're just able to dunk shells into these players insanely fast here. We do get shot at by their tank destroyer, and the MT25 is going to tunnel me. Interesting. I'll shoot him a couple times here. The Basoto is probably going to shoot me again. Very unfortunate stuff there. And at least the MT25 is going to die. That's good. LTTB picks him up. And now I'm going to get behind this Basoto, so he is not focusing on me. He's focusing on our LTTB, so that's good. Get another shot into him, and in about 2 milliseconds, we'll get another kill into that guy there. So 2 kills. We've done, what, 1,600 damage so far. Let's put on our super speed boost here and kind of get into a better position where we can farm out this BZ58 here. So bro is going to start turning towards me. Unfortunately, I screwed up my shell on his lower plate. I screw up another shell on his lower plate. Wow, okay. Come on. Aim, Flossie. You got this, bro. There we go. Okay. Getting now a ton of damage into his lower plate. This is what happens when someone like this BZ sits in the open. Damage and numbers happen. That is what happens. There we go. Bro's already dead, and all that's left is the E10. You can see I'm at 2,700 damage. Again, when people sit in the open and just kind of stare at you, especially if you're sitting in a hull down spot, that's when this tank is just really stupid. And you can see there, 2,900 damage. Again, I think adrenaline and or tungsten is the play on this tank. Honestly, I think adrenaline, tungsten, and 1 multi-repair is probably the best loadout for this tank because, of course, super speed boost is only going to help you so much in a slow-ish heavy tank like this. So you can see there, 2,900 damage for game number 3. All 3 games were pretty successful, but I think this right here with tungsten, adrenaline, and your multi repair kit is what's going to be best for this tank. So there you go. And my final thoughts on this tank are, if you have extra gold to spare, because of course this is 4,500 gold if you buy it separate in the store here. There it is. It's a little bit pricey for a tier 7. I'm not gonna lie. It's not the worst thing though. So if you do have a bit of extra gold and you're like, maybe I should pick up a new fun tank, and you don't care about only playing higher tiers, then this tank is actually pretty fun, and it's something new to try out. So anyways, with that out of the way, for any of you who are not yet subscribed to my channel, I highly recommend you do so, as it's a fantastic way to support my content and stay up to date when I post videos almost daily. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.